difficulties over here, but we finally figured it out. We tag teamed it, so we got it. As always, I'm your host Josh. Welcome to another episode of the DSP. This episode is brought to you by Great Lakes Discs. Whether you're looking for cool new gear or your new favorite disc, Great Lake Disc has what you need. Click the link tree link and you will see the Great Lakes Disc link. Click that and start your shopping today. While you're on the link tree, you will also see a link for Idio Sports. If you want to take your game to the next level, make sure you get Idio shoes on your feet. The only disc golf shoes made by disc golfers for disc golfers. Also use my discount code DISCSEEKER to save money on your next order. Without further ado, I'll let my guest fully introduce himself, where he's from, and how did he even get into disc golf.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mike Finnegan. Everybody knows me as Finn, so if you see me out on the course or out on the streets, just go ahead and say, hey, what's up, Finn? Because if you say Mike, I probably won't even register that. I am a co-owner and developer of Disctrac, and Disctrac is an app that is a QR code-based lost and found system. We offer stickers that you put on your discs. They're QR code enabled, and if you lose them, finders can scan it and easily get in touch with you. And the app kind of facilitates the lost and found process of getting your disc back to you. I am originally born and raised in Dallas, Texas, the DFW area. For several years, I moved down to San Antonio for about a decade, and that's where I first started playing disc golf in 2014. Played my first tournament. It was a fundraiser for deaf children, and first tournament at McLean Park in San Antonio, and first ace at McLean Park in San Antonio. And took several years off. I played for a couple of years, took a few years off, several years off, and then started back up when we got back to Dallas. And since then, I've just loved every day with this golf, and it's done wonderful things to me and my family's lives.
Hey Finn, is there a way you can move a little bit closer to your phone
Sure.
or something so I could hear you a little
Yeah,
bit?
yeah. I'm a little soft, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Hold on, just a second, guys. Uh, I will try and speak up more too. Sorry about that.
All right, cool.
All right.
So
How's
what
that
is the
better?
disc? Yeah, oh yeah, much better. So what is the
Okay.
disc golf scene like in your area? And do you play more competitively or more casually?
Oh man, disc golf scene in our area. So um, I actually live in Garland. It's a little bit east of Dallas. Just recently moved down here from McKinney, which is 30 minutes north of Dallas. We pretty much, play all the courses everywhere: McKinney, Dallas, Fort Worth. Um, it is nonstop. I have to tell you. You had a guest on your show about a month and a half ago, Ryan Desmond from Colorado. He is part of Team Disctrac, and he helped kind of put this meeting together with you, Josh. And we are so in love with Ryan Desmond, and we are pushing for him to get to Ledgestone. So I know everybody out there knows him as the get to Ledgestone guy. So get to thank him for this interview here. But I was trying to explain this very question to Ryan because he's telling me that he doesn't have a whole lot of action out there where he is in Colorado, and he's kind of hunting for events. Whenever he can find one, he's trying to get to one, but there's just not enough going on there. And I told him, come down to Dallas. There's not really an off season. It is nonstop, go go go. And we my poor wife, we put a team together a few months ago, and once we did that, I really just started pushing to um, not only have Diss Track at local events, but I'm also participating and playing in as many as I can. And I don't think she knew what she was getting into because it turned into I did a Masters tournament yesterday out at Blackberry Pines, and I think that's probably every weekend going on 3.5, 4 playing again. Also, lots of leagues going on. We call them minis here, but I hear from people out of state that every time we say a mini, they're like, "What is that?" But it's just normal league play, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, small rounds. So for a while there, it got kind of intense. I was playing 3 rounds a week on the minis, and then one, sometimes 2 tournaments on the weekends. Um, that's going to slow down a bit because I've got a lot of development to do on the app, and we've got some stuff we got to catch up on. But if you want to play disc golf, you come to the Dallas scene because it is nonstop and it's awesome.
That's really cool. So, what are the top 5 courses that you enjoy to play in your area?
Oh man, number one is this guy, the Hideaway. It's actually out at Terrell, Texas, which is about 45 minutes from me. But the Hideaway is number one course rated in Texas on UDisc, 3 years in a row now, I believe. They have 2 courses out there: the Roadrunner and the Scorpion. Roadrunner is 21-hole monster, amazing course. That's the number one course in Texas. And then they have the Scorpion. The Roadrunner is more wide open, some bomber shots, lots of wide open stuff. So about a third to a half goes into some woods, but the Scorpion is all heavily wooded, technical, tight, and it's got Roadrunner has an iconic 8 hole, which everybody tries to ace. Nice island basket across a pond with a fountain. So you'll see a lot of people get held up there emptying their bags trying to hit aces on that and stuff. But I think we've got a few videos actually of me and some teammates out there trying to do just that. But definitely the Highway, number one for us. It's our home away from home. We also, I live close to Harry Myers, which is a beautiful course here in Rockwall. 18-hole, very nicely manicured. Lots of elevation to play with. There's some good technicals, tight spots, some alleyways, and some. It's got a good mix of everything. I really like that. It's a really nice put together course. And then we also have Audubon, which is next to me, which I really like. It's probably 5 minutes down the road. A few of my teammates go play there, and they've got a mini there during the week. So I actually fell in love with that course. It's just got some fun holes that I have no forehand. So it's got some tricky holes I get to practice and learn my turnover on, and I really just enjoy the layout of it more so than anything. Nothing too long for me. So I don't have the strongest arm or the best form, but so I enjoy sometimes those mediocre easy courses. We also have a McKinney, Trinity Falls, actually just north of McKinney. It is a big, beautiful 21-hole course. I think it has blues and reds, so shorts and longs, and then short and long baskets as well. So usually I'll go reds to short baskets, sometimes red to long baskets. But you spend some time out there. You go long tee to long basket. There's some crazy 1,000-foot holes out there that'll eat you up, and the wind is intense. So you ever get to North Dallas, go ahead and try Trinity for sure. And usually after any of these courses, make yourself feel better, you go to Alex Clark and McKinney. It's a little pitch and putt, but probably the busiest course in town. 200 to 280 foot holes probably. There may be 2 that are 400, but we always end there just to make ourselves feel better about our scores after the long, brutal courses. So Alex Clark's a good spot to finish up on.
Hey, Finn, can you reposition again? Because I got a comment saying that people can't hear you too well.
Oh, no. All right. Well, I'm going to have to just hold on just a second.
Okay. Sorry about this.
Yeah, man. Well, All right. We're going to have to just go handheld, I think, because, um, and I apologize, guys. I've never done this before, so I'm just learning as we go. So hopefully, let me switch this around. Can you see me, hear me?
Yep, we got
All
you.
right. That should be a little better, huh?
Much better.
Okay. Sorry, guys. So I
Okay,
hope you heard about
so
all the courses because we got some good ones here in Dallas.
yeah. So being in Dallas, have you ever ran into like Brody or something? Because Brody's always like recording stuff out in Dallas.
You know, that's crazy because he's got several videos at a lot of the courses I play. I've seen him at one of my favorites is way back when he did the 80s challenge or whatever with Macbeth and Alex Clark, the little picture I was telling you about. And it's wild because I've played Alex Clark like 100 times probably, and then I saw that video and watched Macbeth do a couple throws on some of the holes. I was like, I've never even thought about that line, and I just taking a couple of those lines from Macbeth, and now I follow those all the time. And then Brody actually, I'm not sure exactly where he is now. I think he was in 20 minutes south of me last time I watched, and I just never run into him at the courses. I don't. I see him all the time at courses. I was just there yesterday, and I see him, and I was like, no way. But I don't run into Brody. We run into Jay Milley quite often at events. We will see him. My wife Erica is the biggest Jay Milley stalker, so sorry, Erica. But I think he knows that every time we see him, I'm like, my wife's looking for you, right? He's like, oh no, so she'll go looking for him. But yeah, no Brody. We see Jay Milley. We run into GT a couple times, and then we hang out. We hang out a lot at the Hideaway. So if we're at the Hideaway, number one course in Texas, but they have the Cancer Playbook every year, so that draws a lot of pros. So there'll be a lot of times that you'll run into, pros swinging through, going to the Austin Swing of the Tour, or another one we run into all the time is Emerson Keith. He's always around. See him at Alex Park all the time, and he's up at AR Dallas and McKinney, often. So we'll run into him. But yeah, Dallas is a nonstop disc golf town, and you've got AR, and you've got the Hideaway, so you've got lots of pros that you can run into here and there. I pulled up to the Hideaway one day, and as soon as we pulled up and got out of the car, I was beginning to burn. I said, hey, gave me my stickers and talked to him about the app, and it's a great place to be. I love this town, man.
Yeah. So what's in your bag? Where are you throwing this year?
So what do I throw? I throw a lot of Discmania. So my go-to driver is DD. I'll use a DD1 for a little bit more stability. I've got a utility disc. I'm using like an Apex Plastic Mint Salamander. They'll give me some good flex shots and nice beautiful S lines in and just float around. That disc is amazing. It's the only mint disc that I carry, but the Salamander is pretty amazing. I love it. I throw a lot of. I've got a rope. I've got a vibe, and I recently started putting with a dime, but it's not a consistent yet. All from Hooligan. The rope is amazing disc though. That thing is wild. One right here, but oh well, actually, you know what led me into the rope? Before the rope, it was a flip. We were going to Hooligan flip, and I don't know if you ever thrown one, Josh, but that thing is pretty crazy too. It'll do some wild stuff in the air for you. Me and two of our teammates were throwing out at the Hideaway one day and just doing crazy lines with the flip because you can do all sorts of crazy rollers and turnovers, and it's just doing crazy things. And so we decided to have a collaboration video. We're going to do a hooligan olive round using the flip, and well, I'll tell you, it's an interesting round when you throw a flip only. So, uh, but yeah, so mainly just mania and hooligan, and then I have to shout out to one that I newly acquired last month, or actually it's been 2 months now. It's the Timberwolf from Daredevil. That thing is like my super laser beam that I use for any tight gap. I'll throw that straight and it will go until it hits something, just like an arrow straight up, And I've had a couple people throw it because they're not very big here in Dallas. And, a lot of people don't know what Daredevil is. I actually I was fortunate enough to get a box from Daredevil, start sharing around and let the players throw it and kind of review them and see the plastic, which I'll tell you the flex plastic that the Timberwolf uses is pretty unique. It's pretty twisty turning in your hand and soft, and it took me a second to get used to. But like from the first throw, and this happens often when I give it to people to throw, they'll throw that Timberwolf and they'll first thing you hear is like whoa, like because it will just go and go and go and not fade. It won't flip over on you. I have seen some guys that just monster through and that thing flips over, but pretty amazing disc. So I'm happy to add that to my bag. Um, like I said, I'm putting with a dime and recently picked up a mint pickle too. I forgot that's what I mint is. So I've been doing a pickle a lot lately. Um, so it was that pickle actually slowed down my putting for some reason. I don't know if it was just me getting used to it or what, but I kind of just slowed down my thought process as soon as I got that pickle. And putting has been insane lately. Like yesterday at the Masters, I had a 93% circle one, so it was pretty good round. It was feeling good.
That's pretty cool. Got any
Yeah.
DD? Any trilogy? Anything in your bag for that?
No, like I said, like really like I'm disc mania, and then I've got I do have to do a shout out to some rigging. We have the Mojave, which is kind of amazing thing for us as well. It's good. And then I throw some disc mania as well. I mean, some Disctrac with the Sagata, and I throw a Vanguard. I throw an Onyx. The Onyx is it's my shoulder, probably two on the shoulder. And yeah, I've got wood. Well, I don't carry that anymore. Yeah, so mainly it's just mania, this draft, a couple mitts, and hooligan, and of course Timberwolves. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. So, what actually led you to come up with this idea or see this need for Disctrac? Like, what happened where you just ran, or was it just a random thought?
So I really, I hope I don't bore anyone here, but it's going to be a little bit of a long answer on this one, just because I want to not only tell you how it came about, but tell you the reason for actually pursuing the actual app and making it what it is today. Um, so I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. So, like I said, I started playing at 14. I probably played for 2 years and then ended up, kind of falling off and get life got in the way and did my stuff. And then I ended up moving back to the Dallas area. Met my wife Erica, and we had our 3 kids, and got to Dallas. And disc golf was not even on my radar at that time. And of course, what happens? The pandemic set in, and you know, we, my kids were taken out of school. It's like, what are we going to do? And they were bored sitting at home. But at that point, I was an artist, so I was painting, doing shows, and all this stuff. So, but I got really sick, and I have diabetes, so I ended up getting really ill, and I got some infection. And anyway, ended up losing my job. And when I lost my job, I went in the hospital for 2 weeks. I was in the hospital. My wife was visiting me, Erica, and when she left the hospital, our car broke down. So hospital, car broke down, lost my job, and then of course we ended up getting kicked out of our apartment. So next thing me and my wife and our 3 kids are homeless for like 7 months and living in a single hotel room. Actually, we were homeless for almost a year, but we settled into one hotel room for 7 months. And so at that point, the pandemic set in, the kids were not going to school. And so you can imagine there's 5 of us in one hotel room, and the kids are going nuts. I'm going nuts. I'm, still not 100% healthy. And I was trying to do anything I could to raise my kids' spirits. I was like, have you ever thought of disc golf? I remember that I used to do that. And my son Jeffrey was like, no, what's that? And so we went and bought. It was horrible, the worst, the cheapest plastic like frisbees that you can find at like Walmart. Not even meant for disc golf. So we went and got these pie tins basically, and went out to this field next to the hotel we were at. Started throwing them. And the wind was throwing them all over the place, but my son was getting kind of interested. Like we were actually throwing, frisbees at a target. So we started doing that daily, and my wife and I, we were doing DoorDash and delivering for certain delivery spots, and we uh, we were doing that to pay our daily rent at the hotel. At the same time, my wife was reaching out to organizations and people that might help us, while I was sick, and help maybe pay for hotel and stuff, get us food, help for kids' clothing. We were doing really bad. And luckily, she found a couple organizations that came through, and one really came in and gave us a whole rent for a year at a house. Got the kids clothes for school, and we finally moved into a house, and we were just laughing hysterically that we actually had a garage that was as big as the room we were staying in. So it was life changing for us, and but that disc golf, kept going through. Like we went from leaving the hotel to go to the course, to now we were playing the course fire in the house, and we were just getting more into it every day. So we fast forward about 2 years, and me and my son are getting pretty heavy into it. We play pretty much every day, and I didn't take you through all the success, but we ended up, I decided at one point that I was going to just start learning how to code and how to build websites. And I took a $25 site course on Udemy on a website. And I remember feeling so nervous because I was like, oh my gosh, Eric is going to kill me for spending $25. I mean, I have $25 to spend. But it was the best investment I've ever made because probably 7 months later, after everything I learned, I got my first job in development. And then, I've worked with several agencies since then, and then a global medical corporation as a developer. So as I'm doing that, I start building um, just side apps, little things that I think are fun to play with. And I was actually building a QR code system for a subscription, like a subscription model for a coffee shop, And so I had already dabbled into QR codes, and I think that's why I was in my wife's mind at the time. But we were over at Town Lake, which is across from Mouse Splash, and I had just gone in the creek. And I jumped down in there, and I'm looking for my disc, and my wife's like looking down at me, and she's like, "Hey," I said, "What?" She said, "Why don't you put a QR code on the disc?" And I was like, "Oh, get out of here! Let me find my disc. I'm busy." And I didn't even think anything of it. And we went through with the rest of our night, our day, and playing the rest of the course. And uh, I think it was probably another 2 to 3 weeks before she had come up to the office because I worked from home. And I was, working on web pages or whatever. And she goes, "Did you ever try that QR code?" And I was like, "You know what? I didn't try, but I've been thinking about it. So give me a little time." And you know, I just went into it. I started testing some stuff, and within 3 hours, I was hooked. I was like, "Oh man, this is gonna work. This is gonna be great." And I when I got the QR code working, and when I got a couple of the features, the communication between the features working, I was I was getting more and more excited, and then I started to get kind of carried away with it. So I told myself, I was like, if I'm going to build this app, I want to make sure that it's as easy to use for the players, easy as you can get, and easy to add your disc, easy to communicate. I don't want anybody to look at it and go, "There's too many buttons." So that was the number one thing leading into that. And then next thing was just make sure it's community based. I really wanted it to be more of a I'm not here to make $1 million. I just want to make sure that it was easy to use and friendly to the disc golfer. So with that in mind, I went in the building and probably 7 8 months it took in development and testing, and we were actually ready to go probably in January of last year in 25. Still did a little bit of testing. Um, uh, it was in November of 24. We went to the Hideaway for the first time. My parents and my wife took me for my birthday in November, and we met Nikki, who's the owner of the Hideaway, and his wife Katarina, and their events coordinator Joe, and all wonderful people. And they were like, "Hey, this is the." We told them about it. They said, "This is a good idea. You should really go for this." And they told me about this expo coming. I didn't even know about the expo. And they said, "Yeah, it's coming to Allen." And shout out to you, Ben Kinney, for just south. What a great event that is! 2 years in a row now. Can't wait for year three. But I originally heard of it from Nikki and Joe at the Hideaway. So I was like, you know what? I think that's a great place to go ahead and launch it and just get it out there and see what the first thought is from disc golfers, all around in real time. What do you think of this? And get the initial reaction. So um, March came, and we set up to get a booth there. And we set up and officially launched and announced that Disctrac was live. And man, the feedback on initial reaction was amazing. I mean, it was just, hey, you've got $1 million idea, and oh, hey, I've thought about this 100 times, and I should have done it myself. And a lot of people are like, oh, this is so simple. Why didn't anybody make it? Like now you have. Thank goodness. And so we've got tons of great feedback on it, from the get go. And what happened at that point was amazing also because the owner of Hooligan Discs, Garrett Kristoff, he comes to our booth and says, I want your stickers on all my discs. And we're like, well, okay, well, that's cool. All right. And at first I think he's kidding or whatever. And then I'm like, well, hey, let's talk. I mean, let's try and make that happen. And so, I had that in the back of my mind, and it went with I went home with a whole notebook of new relationships and opportunities, and the networking was just fantastic. And again, thank you, Ben Kinney, for putting that together. Thank you for all Dallas Fort Worth team for coming out. It was amazing. But a lot of stuff started happening right at that point, and we immediately went to the Hideaway the next weekend where the Kansas Playbook Open was happening. Nikki, good man he is, set up a sit down with Mr. Luke Humphreys, and that was cool to be able to show him the app and talk about it. And got some good feedback from him while we were there. And what's great is, all the players are coming into the Texas swing about the Waco. And so, like I said, Randy McGann in there, and you've got, I mean, everybody was there. Adam Hammonds and everybody that I talked to when I got there, they were like, well, this is the QR code thing? And I was like, yeah. And like, oh, man, yeah, I already know about this because Gary had been there for like 3 days talking up our app to all the pros. And we were just like, well, how do you know about it? So Gary had been hanging out with them, spreading the word, and cannot thank him enough for that kind of support. And we actually followed through. Erica and I went down to Austin and Waco, and I remember in Waco we saw him, and he's like, oh, the QR codes, he's like, can I have this? I was like, are you kidding me? Take like 5, 10, whatever you need. And we went down because we wanted to put the stickers in all the pros' hands, every pro possible. We wanted to get in their hands. Now we know that that's not our user base. We know that that's not going to be be our usual player that's using our app. But we do know that when we get to that level, we want to be recognized. We want them to already know who we are. And so it was great talking to Big Germ out there, talking to him about, PDGA policy and all that stuff, because that is the big question. Is it PDGA legal? And we'll discuss that in just a second. But I did want to finish up on this, how it came about deal of why we're at where we are now is, fast forward another year, we decided to spend the rest of last year not putting the subscription price on it yet, kind of just building a user base and just getting it out there, grassroots marketing, because it's really just me and Erica, and whatever we have, that's what we got. So limited budget, but we're out contributing to the community, and we really want to use this app and the Disc Golf community platform to help others. And we were lucky to be able to do that last December 6th. We threw our first tournament ever, Erica and I. We threw Hydras for Hunger at the Hideaway, and we gave a few $1,000. North Texas Street, raised $1,000 for them. Had a bunch of people come out, and great supporters and sponsors for that. We will be doing that again later this year for the second annual. We've got a couple more events. So the thing is, we really wanted to give back because we rely so heavily on other organizations to survive. And the disc golf community is so amazing that it's just so easy to do with these people. You get there and you say you're going to feed somebody, or you're going to help someone who's deaf, or you're going to help autism awareness. I mean, you got everybody pitched in. Where's it at? Can I come? Where can I get outside the event? It's just good stuff. So if we can continue on that road, that's what we want to do. And pretty much, I think we have one for Good Samaritans that we're going to be doing, and we have another benefit we're doing. But outside of that, we're not going to be doing a whole lot more tournaments, just fundraisers and helping people. So that's how we came about. My wife gave me the idea and pushing through and getting to where we are now. So here we are.
Yeah. So that is the question, because that's something that I ran into is, are these things PDGA approved? Like, are you able to use them in tournaments? And then I was thinking also, because I'm an MA2 player, not a pro, never going pro, I'm never going to be on the pro tour. So it's kind of like, would anybody actually call me out on it? Probably not, but.
Right. Well, and that's been so interesting. This whole journey is like, it is the number one question that we get all the time: is this PDGA legal? And you, it's not legal. First off, let's answer that. It's not legal. So they're not. You can't have them during sanctioned play. And if you've never seen it before, there it is. It's just a tiny 3/4 inch sticker that you put on your disc. In there. So anyway, but the rule is you can't have any aftermarket stickers. So anything that may affect flight, and we tried to make sure that we kept ours small enough and was comparable to the Disctrac weight stickers that's coming in. It's less than like 0.1 gram or something. I don't remember the measurement, but it's super light. It doesn't affect any flight. We did talk to the PDGA booth at the Disc South Expo, especially after Garrett came and asked us about getting them on discs. And we started talking to them, and we thought, well, say we did put these all on Garrett's disc, at his warehouse, and they started getting shipped out like that. Well, at that point, it's no longer a aftermarket sticker. It's actually coming to you from the manufacturer. So, that was in our minds. We're like, okay, but we didn't want to gamble or anything. So we went ahead and we put in a long proposal to PDGA back in March, right at lunchtime. We followed up with them several times. We got some good inside connect from a couple of guys at the PDGA booth. They've become pretty good friends and taking good care of us. But they helped monitor, get the proposal where it needed to be. Even with all that help and support, we still got an answer back saying that they couldn't really even look at it for the 27 season. That's a long time. So we were like, we're not going to sit and wait around. What can we do about this? So we just kept pushing and doing what we were, set out to do. And like I said, just keep pushing the user base and keep getting players interested in it and doing some traveling. And all the while, we've always had that thing with Hooligan and talking to Garrett. And, we started doing some added features and developing a few more things. And it, it came down to some added stuff that I wanted to offer the manufacturer outside, something that's going to make
Oh, hold on. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Instead of just saying, hey, we put our stickers on your discs, so I ended up adding a few things to that that's going to contribute to that relationship. So we did, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but we actually started doing branded stickers. So it says Hooligan on it, right? And then now we have newer stickers, and we've actually put them on.
Right
so
there.
These,
Good.
So that has the name of the company and now they're individually stickered per mold. Okay, so this one's an albatross. So what we did is we put it in the app so that when you first scan, when you open your app and you first scan that sticker, you're not going to have to do that input anymore. It's just going to automatically tell you, hey, this is the vibe. It's going to have Hooligan branding all on the modal. They'll tell you what disc it already is. So say Hooligan vibe, and then you'll have a plastic selection drop down. So then, depending on which plastic it is, when you choose that, it'll give you the available disc colors that are that come in that mold. So we put that in real quick to make sure that was available, and then what we're working on here pretty soon, probably in the next quarter, we'll be putting in geo mapping so that we can start. You're going to be able to click on a disc in your inventory, and there'll be a button in that that will say lost disc. So you can mark that you lost your disc. And as soon as you do that, you get a modal pop up. It'll say, oh, lost your disc. Want a new one or need a new one? And there'll be a button, and you click, it'll take you straight to Hooligan's website where you can buy another vibe or another, whatever it is that you lost. So we'll have that all set up in the next quarter. And then if you click lost, it'll also ask you which course you lost it at, and it'll give you a selector based on your satellite location, but it'll give you probably 3 or 4 courses that are nearby because we don't want to pinpoint anybody's exact location, but we do want to get the option to say, hey, I lost this at Alex Clark. So if you lost it, you click that, you send it Alex Clark or at Town Lake, and then what'll happen is other players when they hit that course, they'll get a notification to the app saying, hey, Finn lost his DD at the whole seven. So a lot of geo mapping stuff, a lot of stuff coming out from manufacturers. But as far as the sticker goes, because we added those features, and we had a package that we really wanted to show manufacturers that, hey, not only are we putting stickers on, this is also helping you with other avenues to your product. So I think it was 2 months ago, we went to Hooligan Warehouse and officially put stickers on 200 vibes. And actually, this vibe right here is the first manufactured disc that our sticker went on. So this is off our wall. We had Garrett sign it.
That's awesome.
Put the sticker on. And so we were super excited about that. But then recently, we were doing like a 200 tester on the vibes to see what people thought about it, check it out. Not much later, Ryan Desmond, like I said, was on your show. Great guy, love the guy. He's very important VIP teammate for Daredevil Disc. So next thing you know, I got a meeting with those guys, and we've got now Daredevil going. So we've got five molds going with Daredevil, and then it was probably last week we finally made it official. We've got a big announcement coming out that I'll go ahead and announce here that we are now officially on every single mold for Hooligan disc. So if you buy a disc from Hooligan, it's going to come with Disctrac enabled sticker and a little flyer that'll tell you what to do and how to use it. We're hoping to gear that way with Daredevil as well in the near future. And we've got probably 3 more in line that we'll be talking to next week, and another handful within the next couple of months that we're hoping to secure. So eventually there's going to be a tournament director that's going to see all these discs flying around in the air with legal stickers and not know what's legal and what's not. PDGA is going to have to say, you know what? We just got to let Disctrac do what they're going to do. So that's the
Yeah.
hope.
And to be honest with you, I really don't see anybody really freaking out by a little tiny QR code sticker. Like I've already done a couple tournaments with them on my disc, and no one said nothing. So it's just kind of like, whatever.
Yeah. Well, oh, and I totally missed that. Well, I was going to try to have Ryan Barham on tonight. I wasn't able to get over to him today, but and I wasn't able to send that link to him. But he's a huge supporter of us as well. He plays NPO. He is Hooligan sponsored, and he came to our booth. And my wife's been watching his YouTube stuff for a while. But he came out, and we fell in love with that guy. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Ryan! Ryan Barham, you are a saint, sir. You are amazing. But he's been rocking our stickers for over a year now, and has no problem getting out on the sanctions, tournaments and courses and saying, look, this is what I got. These are people that I like, and this is what's happening. So we really appreciate him for that. And I've talked to so many TVs about it. None of them are really going to give you grief about. And it's just the whole thing of the higher tier you get, the more elite you get, the more scrutiny you're going to get on the stickers and stuff. So most of these C tiers and local stuff, they're not going to care. And if they do, then I don't want to play with them anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what are the goals that you have for the rest of this year?
Rest of this year. So I've got one personal goal, and that's I need to pick up a forehand because I don't have one at all. It's awful, and I really
It's
need
super
one.
easy.
Yeah,
It's
that's what
easy.
you said. Yeah, so I promised my team captains, shout out to Chris Goff and shout out to Matthew Reeland. I told them both that I would do MA1 all year this year, so I jumped at MA1, even though I'm not an MA1 player. But I'll tell you what, it's really I'm learning a lot. They're great players around you, and surrounding yourself with players that are better than you, it does wonders for your game. So I've improved a lot in the last couple of months. But yeah, personal goal is get a forehand. Professional goals for this track, especially, um, we'd love to keep it free, but we can't afford it. So we eventually do have to put a subscription on there. Uh, we have thoughts on how we're going to do this, and we do have a lot of within supporters, and do plan on taking care of a lot of early supporters that really help us out. We, right now we're gonna, you have unlimited, disk usage and all the features. We will be cutting that down at some point, 15 to 20 disks maybe for a free tier, probably 15 for a free tier, and then a paid tier. Um, you'll get unlimited discs, but then you'll also get an option for extra bags because there's a lot of players that come up saying, "Hey, I want a glow bag," or "I want," we were in talks with Tech Disc about Tech Disc bags. So lots of ideas that we've been sorting and figuring out, and we've come up with a pretty good paid tier for the app, and I think people are going to be happy with it. I think we're going to do like $2.99 a month or something, or maybe a yearly. I'm not sure yet, but it's going to be very affordable. And like I said, because it's community based, because we rely on word of mouth and just people using the app, we're going to try and make sure that paid tier is full of stuff that you're going to use and stuff that's going to be helpful and fun to look at the same time. I don't know if you've noticed or if you even know this version from earlier versions, but we've already added range finders, we've added retrievers. We are partnered up with Steve at Dead Eye Solutions Towels. Check them out. It's a center mounted towel that has a magnet clip to it. And it's amazing. It never touches the ground. But they started putting our stickers on on those towels, and we've gotten a lot of recognition from that, and so we pretty much have somewhere. We have a section everywhere in the app where you put anything that you carry as a disc golfer and you might lose. Like the retriever that I have, I found it on hole 7, and somebody lost a $150 retriever. I feel horrible because there's no name or anything on it, so it was sitting next to the hole. Now you can put your sticker on there and hopefully get it back. At least you'll have one extra step. Somebody may just have to scan a sticker and get it back to you, and hope that happens. So, but yeah, the gold subscription, and then you know, we did pick up Canada. We have a Canada account thanks to Miles and Disc at Instagram, Miles Ladder. We also picked up a Mexico account and ambassador at Disc. So shout out to you guys. We do have the task of translating to French and Spanish in the near future now that we're in Canada and Mexico. We'd always planned to go worldwide, but we weren't thinking it was going to be this soon. So it's exciting and terrifying at the same time. But we will start getting translations in there, and then we do ultimately long-term goal. We want to be the global solution for loss and found discs. You know, we eventually would love to get manufacturers to maybe like laser etch the QR codes in the disc, or just find some way that we can use our technology to help people get their stuff back. We've had round 2 at this South this year was nothing but tons of success stories coming to the booth and saying how many discs they had returned because of this, and how much fun they had, just talking to us and talking to other players and using the app. And we're just loving that people are actually using it and it's working for them. So we're doing good.
That's really cool. So as we're wrapping this up, do you have any questions for me?
No, man. How do you do it? Like, you're a busy man. You got a lot of episodes, man. So I'm proud to be on here. I thank you for it, and I don't see how you do it. How you find the time? I'm always looking for that extra day. I just not here, but I don't have any real questions. Just gotta say kudos to you, man. Good job, and I appreciate your show. Yeah.
Thank you. My final question for you is, where can people find you on social media?
Oh, they can find us on Instagram. I think it's Disctrac app. My wife runs the social media, but it should be Disctrac app on Instagram, on Facebook, TikTok, and then you can also buy our stickers online at disctracapp.com. You can also, if you're in Dallas or Austin area, you can go to Another Round to buy our stickers retail. They're $2.99. I mean, we changed the price. They're $2.99 for a 6-pack and $6.99 for a 12-pack of these stickers. Buy them online, order Another Round, or you can go to the Hideaway in Terrell, Texas. And you're getting a couple more places in North Carolina. We have a team all over. So shout out to all my Team Disctrac members. I love all of you guys so much. Josh Shire, DJ, I love you guys out there. And also got to say I love you to all the family down here that we see out. I hate to take every time for shout outs, but Edmund, you are a beast. Zamaritas, thank you so much. And Team Disctrac is really making it happen, Josh. Let me tell you, because since we put that team together, within like two months, we went out like 30% of our user base just from all the events and all the posting. And thanks to Kaylin out in Tennessee. Anybody that I forgot, I'm not forgetting about you, but I'm running short on time, and I know that. But you guys know that we love you and we appreciate everything y'all do. And to this golf community as a whole, man, you guys rock. And I'm having the time of my life. Thank you so much.
Cool. Hey, thank you for coming on tonight.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for having me, Josh. I'd love to be on some other time because I got more stuff going on.
Definitely. All right. Have